What's the best response to "Why are you so quiet"? Say nothing. And smile without blinking. Or smile with continuous blinking. Or blink without smiling. I tried everything you guys said. Did it work? No response. Why is he so quiet? Then after smiling for about 30 seconds, start incessantly licking your lips. And that's enough. Why are you so quiet? Nothing. Why are you so quiet? Nothing. What? Dies inside. Turn and look at them. Stare for 5 to 10 seconds. Then walk away. Without blinking. Turning your head and continuing to stare at them while walking away. I once teased a coworker about being quiet. His friend said, maybe he's just quiet around you because you're f***ing annoying. I was humbled pretty fast. What was the atmosphere like after this? Quiet. Widen your eyes and whisper, "You can see me." Oh my god, finally. It's been so long. Brilliant. Why aren't you? I was a very quiet kid, and whenever anyone in school asked why I was quiet, my response was usually, "Why are you so loud?" Usually they'd leave me alone after that. Mine was, "You're making enough noise for both of us." But I'm only quiet when I don't like the person or just not in a talking mood. My mic was on mute. But first you have to start mouthing this, with no sound coming out, then look concerned, then look relieved as you realize it's just that your mic is on mute, fiddle with the invisible switch on your mic, and then say, "Sorry, my mic was on mute." And then you blame Skype for being weird today, even though it's working the way it's always worked. Source: every coworker over 35. To be fair, I have never been in a Skype call that worked on the first try. Was raised by librarians. I'm an introvert who tends to be quiet, and this is literally true. My mom was a librarian and my dad was the bouncer at the library, and that is where they met. Excuse me, miss. Is this book bothering you? The bouncer at the library? What? Every big city library I've been to has security. Mostly they are there to boot out hobos who start doing their laundry in the bathroom sink or who take naps in the library. It makes total sense, but calling them bouncers makes me giggle, simply due to the bar bouncer image in my mind. Shrug. Shrug. Did you just say shrug out loud? Why waste time say a lot word, when few word do trick? Because they're all listening, in a hushed tone followed by shifty eye movements. You say that like it's a bad thing. I like this, I'll use it in the future. Want me to start screaming? Inhale. Give them some fake sign language. All I know in sign language is, "I love hedgehogs, had to learn it for a play," that usually shuts people up. I kinda want to hang out with the person that only knows one thing in sign language, and the one thing is, "I love hedgehogs." My go-to phrase was, "Yo, what's up my home dog yo," but then one time I did it to someone who knew sign language. Never again. How did they react? He signed back real stuff to me and I was like, "Oh," and shrank into my seat until I disappeared forever. Maybe he just replied, "I love hedgehogs," and you didn't realize. I have never seen a meta joke born so quickly. Just do some Naruto hand signs. Just be sure not to shout the name of Jutsu afterwards. The quieter you are, the more you can hear. A wise owl sat on an oak. The more he saw, the less he spoke. The less he spoke, the more he heard. Right. I was born mute on something and then proceed to live that life so they never find out. To further this, at dinner with new acquaintances, point to the baked potato on your plate and write on a note or sign, "What is this? Sorry, this might just be me being stupid not understanding a joke, but what on earth is a potato?" Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Lovely big golden chips with a nice piece of fried fish. Even you couldn't say no to that. When my in-laws ask why I've been so quiet, for example at dinner, my standard response for 10 years has been, there wasn't an opportunity to get a word in. They literally seem to have one big overlapping conversation, cutting each other off at the end of every sentence and talking over each other. Active listening is not a thing in their house. I don't like to talk unless I have something worth saying, has always served me well. It's not directly impolite, but it makes the other person stop and wonder if they're needlessly blathering. I'm sure it'd be nice if they were thinking that, but let's be honest. They're much more likely to be thinking, okay, weird, or there's no conversation to be had here, I'm leaving. Just smile. My ideal response to the question. Thinking, I never learned how to talk. Because the world is so loud. Because the world is loud, it turns me on. I smile genuinely and say, what would you like to talk about? This is one of the nicest responses so far. That's how I've always been. Does that make you uncomfortable? Because I'm autistic. Often turns a few heads. If you ask a blunt question, you should prepare for the blunt answer. My exact reasoning for answering the question, why don't you have children yet, with, I'm infertile. My anxiety levels will hit me later if I say or do the wrong thing. This usually comes out of my mouth as, I am tired, but this is actually what I mean. It's exhausting. I'm quiet because people forget that I'm there, and spill all sorts of juicy gossip within hearing range. Oh my god, so true. I can't believe the I've heard during these situations. Once a couple of girls literally right next to me talked about all the intimate details of struggles with their boyfriends, for like a whole hour. Then one of them turned to me and was like, I'm so sorry. Say, I don't like to know my victims, and act like what you said was totally normal. Just scream for 2 minutes, then ask if they'd rather you were quiet again. It's better to keep your mouth shut and appear stupid, than open it and remove all doubt. Why not? I like answering questions with questions. A good one. It will make them answer why they even asked this question in the first place. Ugh, I hate that question. I usually tell them that I'm not one for talking if I don't have anything to say. If you want to be snarky, you could add an, unlike some people, at the end. I'm thinking. About 6 years ago I just ran out of things to say. Well, no one plans a murder out loud. There are many witty and rude responses in this thread, which probably no socially functional person uses, but if by best you mean as improving the quality of the interaction, for me it always works, because I'm listening, or because I'm a better listener than a speaker. This always seems to get the attention directed towards me, especially since most people prefer to speak more than to listen, and now they subconsciously know that they have someone that actually listens to them.